This amendment deals with the privacy of our digital correspondence and stored information in this country. We all remember the NSA situation, and we're still uncovering and going through how we examine what the NSA is doing to our private information. Much of that dealt with metadata. The big issue there was partly phone records of Americans that the federal government was containing. This issue, frankly, that we're addressing here is much more egregious abuse of our civil liberties and more egregious abuse of the Constitution. Many of our civil agencies, such as the SEC, the IRS, Department of Justice, and other agencies, are using a 1986 law that is out of date and out of touch with the ways Americans store and communicate today. This 1986 law essentially says that when information is stored over 180 days on any type of server, it is considered abandoned by the user and therefore searchable and seizable by the federal government without a warrant, without due process, without probable cause. There is a bill going through Congress. It's called the Email Privacy Act. It has 220 co-sponsors. Many in this committee are co-sponsors. It's a bipartisan bill. One of my lead co-sponsors is Jared Polis. The other one's Tom Graves. And so we certainly have support all across the conference. And what this amendment would do would be to prohibit funding for searches and seizures of digital correspondence without following the normal warrant procedures that we'd use for paper correspondence. Probably one of the most frustrating responses regarding this issue when it was raised in the last year was the IRS's position that they had previously held, and I don't know that they hold it today, but who knows what goes on over there half the time. The IRS's position was that Americans have no expectation of privacy when it comes to their email accounts. Well, frankly, I disagree, and I think many of you disagree, and I think most of your constituents would disagree. Americans do expect that when they correspond to one another, that digital correspondence is treated just like paper correspondence, just like mail that goes through the Postal Service 6 days a week. This is not only an issue for our constituents, not only an issue for the individual liberty and privacy of our constituents, it's also an American business issue. This is going to be a jobs issue. It's a Fourth Amendment issue for sure, and it's one that I think we can come together on as a Congress and fix this session with legislation. But this amendment would prohibit funding with the entities that are in financial services if we can't get that bill actually passed. It's supported by the Heritage Foundation, the ACLU. I mean, we're bringing the world together with this legislation.
The reason that this has bipartisan support is because, in spite of what some people may think, we on both sides do not like this kind of behavior, and we feel that constitutionally we have the right to privacy.
Question is on the Yoder amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.